Hi, this is Chinu. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a happiness coach, and my mission in life is to make the greatest possible positive difference in the life of every being that I can. I've been writing some articles and sharing some details with a few people, and I've had a fair amount of response saying that it's useful. And somebody said, you know what, it might be useful for you to actually speak, and if we could see you, the message is so much better. And I realized that that itself was a great topic that I could start my first video on. The power of the spoken word, the power of visuals, the power of body language, and the power of communicating effectively. And this also was sparked off by a series of interactions that I've been having with a few of my clients. And at a different level, the kind of interactions that I see on social media, where people write a few things, either on Facebook or they tweet or they exchange information on WhatsApp. And earlier it used to be, let's say, the genesis of all of this probably was the written word when people used to write letters, and then they became telexes, telegrams, and then email, and then SMS, and now we have all kinds of social media. It got me thinking, and how effective is communication? So, are these media, the social media, so to say, are they really effective in helping people get to know one another better? Are they helping them come closer? Or are they making them go apart? I started thinking, and this has been on my mind for a while now. And I realized that, as with every technology, there is something that is useful, and it depends on the user to make the best use of the technology. If you take a knife or a sword, it can be used for something that is extremely useful, and it can also be used for something that is destructive. A gun can be used for something that is useful, self defense, and it can be used for something that is destructive, which is to create trouble for another, so on and so forth. Progress, as we call it, or any development for that matter, is both useful and not useful, depending on how it is used and the intent for which it is used. So let me come back to where I started, the power of the spoken word, the power of visual communication, the power of the tone, tonality, and all of that. So I was working with a client, and this person was saying that, you know what, I've been sending emails, but I've not been getting responses. And this is a common thing that I've seen with a lot of people. You know what, I've written emails and not getting a response. So I asked this person, I said, and this is one person that I asked, and one among many people that I asked this is, who's responsible for the results that you want? And the person responded saying, I. So I said, if you're responsible for the decision that needs to be taken, then you need to take the responsibility of ensuring that the decision gets taken, and the inputs and approvals that need to be given by whoever has to give them are given. To prove that, I actually wrote down something on a piece of paper. I'm going to share that with you, and I asked him to read it out. So I hope you can see that. The first one says, it's that so. The second one is, that's great. And the third one is that really possible? And the fourth one is, wow, that's wonderful. And I gave that to this, I showed it to that person and said, please read. And the person read, is that so? And I asked him, you're reading it from what you think is appropriate. I might have said it as, is that so? Or I might have even said it as, is that so? Or let's take another one, which is, that's great. I could have said, that's great, in my mind. However, what the person might be reading it as is, that's great. So it depends on what the person who's receiving communication understands it as. And I came across a statement which said communication is not what is meant, but it's the response that it elicits. And I'm talking about it both on social media, and many people use WhatsApp, Facebook to communicate. I'm suggesting, if you really want to communicate, pick up the phone. If you can't go and meet the person in person, right? Pick up the phone. Make that call. At least they'll hear your voice, the tone, the tonality, and the sincerity with which it is spoken. And that might be more useful than typing out a few words and leaving it to that person's perception of what it might mean. Yeah. So if you really want to build relationships, if you really want to communicate, I think it's important that we make the effort. If I need to communicate with you, and I'm realizing the power of this kind of a video, because I had absolutely no idea what I was going to talk about. I started talking. And I'm realizing that it is possible to communicate if I'm communicating sincerely. If I'm doing this because I want to create a video, and it'll come through. And if I want to create something that is meant to share and to make the lives of people better, I think that intention also will go through. I hope you have a great time. I hope you liked watching this video. I'm sure it'll get better, because the only thing that I know is that I go from being perfect to being perfect. And I wasn't born perfect. I'm not perfect. And as with every initiative that anybody takes, the first step is important. I've taken that first step. And I look forward to your feedback. I look forward to your support. And thank you very much. Have a great life, a fulfilled life, a healthy life. Thank you.